Wealth Podcast. Guys, millennials are telling us that they'll never get what they want out of life because they don't have the money to do it. Can y'all believe that? Almost half of all millennials are saying that they'll never have enough money to get the things that we want out of life. And on today's podcast, we're going to talk about why they're saying that. And I'm going to walk you through all the steps that you need to know about how to create generational wealth so that you can feel comfortable with your money for years to come. So if you guys like this broadcast, make sure that you smash that thumbs up button. I want to give a big shout out to everyone who's checked out my free webinar on the 3 keys to financial freedom. There's been a lot of you guys that have been checking out that webinar lately. On that broadcast, I show you guys how to start creating passive income. This channel is all about you getting out of the rat race and learning how to make money outside of the 9 to 5. So if you're looking to create new streams of income, make sure that you check out that webinar. It is totally free. I'm going to put the link down here below so that way y'all can check it out. Guys, I'm trying to get y'all in a space where you can get out of a fixed salary. We got to talk about why it's so important to have multiple streams of income in this podcast. But this is going to be the first step in the right direction. So make sure that you guys check that out. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment below and I will help you guys out. Now, speaking of making more money, for all of you millennials that are out there that are feeling like you're not making enough, this podcast promotes other business owners for free. If you're thinking about starting a business and you want to make a little bit more money on the side, then please reach out to me with all of the details about your business, and I will give you guys free promo on this platform. This is all about helping you guys get to the next level so that way you can get out of debt and start living life on your own terms. And one of the best ways to create wealth in America is being an entrepreneur. So for all of you guys that are looking to start out there with your own companies, feel free to promote it on this platform. For those of you guys that already have your own business, make sure that you reach out so that way I can give you guys a plug. Now, as always, before we go ahead and get into this thing full swing, I got to promote the sponsors. I got to give a big shout out to all of the sponsors that play such a strong part in keeping this podcast on air. So I want to take a moment to thank Babalico from yesterday's broadcast. He did an amazing job of giving a super chat donation yesterday. Also want to make sure that I give I got a camera issue real quick. Y'all bear with me. For those of y'all that All right, y'all, we're back on. Shout out to Tia, to you. You asked what happened. Just went through a quick technical difficulty. Yes, I was just taking a moment to celebrate all of the sponsors. I want to take a quick moment to give a shout out to Lyra Texan the Israelite for giving a $10 cash app on yesterday's broadcast. Also want to shout out LA for Life, who also gave a $10 super chat. They both tied up at being the top sponsor for yesterday's event. So thank you so much to everyone who contributed. If you want to know how to become a sponsor, all you have to do is tap the dollar icon directly below the live chat box. Your sponsorship on this podcast allows me to create more episodes. This helps me get on and show the world how to create generational wealth step by step. For those of y'all that already know, in 2013, I paid off over $95,000 in student loans 2 years after graduating from college. And now I want to show other people how to do it. I own over $1 million worth of real estate, and I really want to show our generation how we can advance financially, because there are a lot of millennials that are saying they will never make enough to enjoy their lifestyle. Studies are showing there's so many millennials are struggling today, and I want to give you guys all of the steps and secrets that I've used to help me get to where I am now. So thank you so much to all of the sponsors. Please make sure that you support this broadcast, y'all. And whoever makes the highest donation on tonight's podcast will be the official sponsor of this show. So please make sure that y'all support and donate. Even for those of y'all that are looking to donate through Cash App or PayPal, you can do so. All you got to do is tap that link in the description below. Y'all see the information that I'm about to put on the screen. I got to get my ticket going, y'all, so that way y'all can see this. You can donate through Cash App or PayPal. All you got to do is just follow the instructions that y'all see. So leave me a comment below, y'all. Let me know that y'all are here. If y'all have yet to do so, make sure that you smash that like button. Right now, we're talking about why millennials say that they'll never have enough money to get what they want. And as promised, I just put the show information for y'all to donate at the bottom of the screen. If you guys want to be sponsors, that would be awesome. Now, let's get into this broadcast, y'all. Happy Friday. I'm showing you guys on this podcast why there are so many millennials that are strapped financially and how to get out of a jam. How do we get ourselves out of feeling like, man, we're just never going to have enough money to be able to support our lifestyles? Life is getting very expensive. Inflation is on the rise, and there are so many people feeling like they don't have what it takes in order to support themselves and their families. It says millennials say they'll never have enough money to get what they want in life. Now, that's a bold statement, guys. Never, ever. Come on, we're still young, y'all. Like, we got to talk about what it even means to be a millennial. If you are a millennial right now, you are under 40 years old, and there's still so much time that you have to level up. But millennials say they'll never have enough money to get what they want in life. It says many millennials aren't feeling confident about their financial situation. 45% of millennials say their financial situation prevents them from getting what they want in life, per a new report. They also feel more behind on their finances and have a lower financial well-being than the national average. So as we go through this article, it's going to talk about how you have people that are in different generations who don't feel as strapped for cash as us. It says it's a byproduct of their economic challenges, 2 recessions, soaring living costs, and student debt. Two recessions later, millennials are feeling the financial burn. Nearly half, 45% of the generation is very or completely concerned that their financial situation will prevent them from having the things they want in life. According to Morning Consult's State of Consumer Banking and Payments report, that's more than the overall share of U.S. adults, 35% of whom felt that way. So as you can see, 45% of all millennials feel like they're never going to have enough money in order to enjoy their life. Only 35% of Americans outside of that millennial age group says the same thing. But it says the survey found that millennials also feel more behind on their finances. 38% of the generation, compared to a quarter of all adults surveyed, said they're often or always financially behind. And 46% of millennials said their finances always or often control their lives, whereas 33% of all adults felt that way. Guys, I'm going to uncover this whole article. I'm going to talk all about this on this broadcast. I'm just getting through what this says so y'all can see it with your own eyes. And I want y'all to leave me a comment to let me know what you think. Let me know how y'all feel on this broadcast. Are you one of the millennials that is out there today who feels like you will never have enough money to enjoy your life? It says the Morning Consult findings show millennials' perception of their financial well-being is lower than the national average. That's because the economic odds have always been stacked against American millennials.
Nope.
Who have faced 2 recessions before the age of 40. That's a fact. While grappling with sky-high living costs and student debt. Facts also. Such challenges have made it more difficult for them to achieve the post-war version of the American dream, marked by a house in the suburbs, marriage, and children. Y'all know I'm coming back to that point right there. I'm coming back specifically to this part of the article that talks about such challenges has made it more difficult for them to achieve the post-war version of the American dream, marked by a house in the suburbs, marriage, and children. As Ernie Tedeschi, senior policy economist for the White House, previously told Insider, millennials' experience has been affected by different economic conditions and realities than either baby boomers or Generation Xers. This has consequences for individual career prospects and affects their sense of dynamism, he said. Financial effects of recessions can linger for more than a decade. This is very interesting, guys. I want y'all to notice this part. I'm about to get into my take on this real quick, and I want y'all to leave y'all's comments. But I want y'all to notice something very interesting that was said in this article. It says the oldest members of the generation graduated into the blighted job market of the Great Recession. This is talking about back during 2008. Which puts them on a rocky path to gaining a foothold in their careers and thus to building wealth. Research shows that those who graduate during a recession could see stagnation in financial growth for up to 15 years. That's crazy. And I think this is the reason why it's so important that we understand how the economy works if we're going to create generational wealth. Because if you graduate during a time where the economy is on a down dip, you could end up being a statistic and not know it. Now we have to understand how the game is played. It says it doesn't help that many millennials are shouldering vast amounts of student debt, an average of $38,887 per borrower. That's a lot of money. While shelling out for soaring living costs for everyday necessities like rent and healthcare. Come 2020, and the generation was hit with their second recession before the age of 40, while still grappling with the financial fallout of the last one. So basically what this is saying is so many millennials were impacted by the recession that happened in 2008. And then to add insult to injury, everybody got impacted by what happened in 2020. Y'all know that's when came about. That's when we got hit with the lockdown. That's when so many businesses went under. This article talks about how millennials got dealt a bad hand. It says millennials have lifelong damage given the severity of the Great Recession. They're still overshadowed by it with new consequential burdens coming at them. Now, as much as I can understand where this is coming from in this article, I feel like this is very dangerous, especially for people who want to easily count themselves out and resign themselves in life to being a victim. When it says millennials have lifelong damage, I'm like, damn, was it really that bad? You know, we went through the recession of 2008. We even got hit hard with what happened in 2020. But if you are alive and breathing, you can still do what is necessary to improve your finances. So, guys, let's look at this article, but don't use this as an excuse to just cry about, oh, I can't make money. I'm a poor millennial. Sally Mae has killed my chances. You can still do better. And that's what I'm going to show you guys how to do on this broadcast. It says, while the corona, I got to see, watch that word. I almost said it. Nah. You're not about to mess up this YouTube money. While the recession was much more short-lived and had a quicker recovery than the 2008 financial crisis, it didn't come without consequences, job loss, and a housing crisis that boxed many millennials out of the market just as they were ready to buy their first homes. It's not all doom and gloom. There are signs that the 1980s millennials are finally recovering from their money woes. They've gained ground in accumulating wealth, and they're the only cohort at or above pre-pandemic employment. But considering that they're facing inflation for the first time in their lives, it's no surprise that they're worried about money. Because as soon as millennials jump over one economic hurdle, there's always another one waiting for them. And I feel like that's life in general, right? It's like, if it ain't one thing, it's another. As soon as you feel like you get out of one financial problem, then there is another financial problem waiting for you. Guys, I went to take my new car to the dealership for the very first time to get maintenance. And that made me want to scream. The amount of money just to pay for car maintenance. Life is getting expensive, y'all. That's all I can say. I'm not exempt from it. The only difference is I'm learning how to constantly grow new streams of income, and I'm showing you guys how to do the same. So make sure that y'all tap in on this broadcast. Make sure that y'all leave comments. Shout out to my brother Babalico that's in the house. Shout out to everybody else that's here. Shout out to J Bones. Good to see y'all. Okay. Babalico says, damn, a lot of people don't have $1,000 in savings. So that's a disaster. At best, you can get government assistance. It seems to me that people who are working is worse off than people who gets government help. Now, I talked about that a little bit on yesterday's broadcast, Bobo. I was speaking specifically about the middle class. The reason why I said that about the middle class is because when economic disasters hit this country, the rich, they know how to make it out. The poor, they're already getting certain government subsidies. But it's the people that are right in the middle who have no access to any programs. they're the ones that get hit the hardest. And this is the reason why I stress every broadcast. There's going to be no such thing as the middle class within a few years. Within a few short years, you either got it or you don't. And that's the reason why this podcast is helping you guys get on the other side. Okay. If you don't make the right decisions right now to improve your finances, you're easily going to be cemented in the have nots. That's the reason why 45% of millennials are saying they will never have enough money to live the life that they want, because they already feel so far behind that they don't ever imagine that they could catch up. Now, look at what J Bones said. He says, Babalico, ain't that crazy? LOL, you working hard and not getting nothing, but if you stop working, you get more. Hey, that's the game. It said, Ariel said, yeah, I agree. Now, before I get into this further, I don't want to let that last comment go by, because I feel like somebody's going to use that as an excuse to be like, well, you know what? Let me just go broke then. Let me just go poor. Let me not try to make nothing of myself. Let me just hope that the government just gives me all these handouts. I want to be able to clear the air. What I'm telling you guys that you need to do is you need to get on the side of generational wealth. That's not going to happen overnight. So you are going to have to build your way from the ground up. You're going to have to work from ground zero. And you're going to have to work at the middle class level until you start building up the finances so that way your money can grow. But no matter what, guys, don't stop trying. This podcast is always showing you guys how to work smarter and not harder. And never fall into the illusion of thinking, oh man, it's so much easier just to do nothing. Now is our time for us to make our journey into real wealth. Ariel says, yeah, I agree. This feels like an excuse for people not to try. I mean, the article is giving facts. We did, as millennials, get hit with 2 recessions. And those 2 recessions was kind of tough.
Nope.
We did find ourselves in a situation where these student loans don't play. But regardless of whatever challenges that we are facing, we still have so many opportunities to do better. We still have so many more opportunities now in 2022 that we didn't even have 10 years ago. Guys, there was no way I could have gotten on YouTube 10, 15 years ago, set up a live broadcast and just been talking to y'all and giving y'all this game. There's all of these new opportunities out here. But if we don't make the most of it, we're constantly going to rely on the same system that's already broken, and then we wonder why we cannot survive in the current times. Now I'm going to show you guys this next article. This next clip is showing you guys exactly what this is talking about in more detail when millennials say that they never will see enough money in order to enjoy their lifestyle. For those of y'all that saw that last article, you saw that over 40% of millennials say they feel like money controls their life. They feel like if they don't make enough money, their life is going to be over as they know it. And we got to talk about this, y'all. We got to talk about this. Y'all keep leaving me y'all's comments. Shout out to everybody who's commenting. J Bones, Babalico, Ariel, Tia to you. Let's keep this thing going. If y'all are just joining, make sure that y'all smash that like button. Shout out to DL. Okay. It says most millennials think they'll never earn enough money to have nice things. According to a new poll, millennials are the most likely generation to see their financial situation as dire. Okay. It says most millennials say their current financial situation is so dire that they'll never have the things they want in life. About half say that my finances control my life and worry that whatever amount of money they save won't last anyway. Now, see, this again is a part of the language that bothers me. If people think their savings won't last, what are they going to be inclined to do? If you go through life thinking, well, you know what? Well, what's the point of saving this money? Because I'm not going to hold on to it no way. Chances are you're going to spend it. Chances are you're going to use this as an excuse to make dumb decisions with money. And this is the reason why it becomes so hard for so many of us to get ahead. We get so caught up in our emotions of right now that we never think about the future. Guys, let me tell y'all something. Regardless of what the current economic climate looks like, America has always had seasons where you had to save, put your head down, and get to work. And you would not see any solid wealth created until decades later. But there's so many of us that want things instantly that we don't focus long enough for the money to grow. We just want to spend it right now, and then we cry about why our life isn't getting any better. Listen, let me tell y'all something real quick. Let me take this article off the screen. Everybody looks at my life now, but people don't talk about how my life was looking in my early 20s when I was eating peanut butter sandwiches every single day as I was paying off my student loans. Nobody talks about the time I was living in a low-income apartment complex. Nobody talks about the times in which I would walk to work every single day, even though I could afford to drive and eat out every day for lunch. I did not pursue those avenues because I had to sacrifice now to win in the future. But this is a part of the problem. Nobody wants to suffer right now. Nobody wants to hurt. Everybody's on YOLO time. And that's the reason why some of us feel like, well, if I can't travel today, then why am I even going to make this money? If I can't go and ball out and buy the big house right now, then what's the point? Every time I came on a new financial milestone, I had to suffer. When I finally reached owning over $1 million worth of assets in real estate, that was one of the hardest working years of my life. I went through an entire season of suffering. So what I want to show you guys before we get back to this article is that a lot of times your biggest financial breakthroughs are on the other side of suffering. The problem is most people will never figure that out because the minute they start going through certain financial pains, that's when they give up and give in to their comforts. That is the trap. This is the reason why so many people are working at jobs that they can't stand, all because they never endure things long enough to work their way out. I started off in a 9-to-5 job just like everybody else. I didn't like my job just like everybody else. But the difference is you have to be willing to lose today so that way you can win tomorrow. But let's go back to this article real quick. I'm going to check out some of these comments. Let me see what y'all are saying. Okay. DL said, this recession is different. There's more jobs than people wanting to do them. See, now that becomes a problem also. We're talking about we're not getting the money that we want to get, but a lot of people are not doing the jobs that the market needs them to do. So this all plays into the generational wealth problem. He said there's more jobs than people wanting to do them. LOL. The recession is on workers. Baulico says some people just don't have it. I mean, that's sad but true. He says, do you think Black Americans should take their money to Africa? I see a lot of us going over there, but you have to make the money here. What do you think about moving? You know, that's a hell of a question. I know a lot of people that are doing this also. I know some brothers that are signing up for what's known as the repatriation. And at its surface, I don't see anything wrong with it. The only thing that I would advise is make sure you're not trying to run from your problems. What I mean by that is if you're in America and you don't know how to manage your money, you go anywhere else on this planet and you're not going to know how to manage your money. If you're not disciplined enough to get on a budget here, you're not going to be disciplined enough to get on a budget nowhere. The only difference is the cost of living in other places would be that much better. Now, if it was on me, if I were to go to Africa right now, if I were to sell my real estate and I just packed it up and went straight to Africa, man, I would live like a king. Sometimes I think that I am stupid, crazy, retarded because I haven't done that already. Like, the cost of living in America is so high, guys. It is absolutely ridiculous. People are going to South America and winning. People are going to the Caribbean and winning. People are going to Africa and winning. So for those that are doing it, man, more power to you. But you got to make sure that if you're one of those people that are doing that, before you go, make sure you learn the principles of personal finance. Because guess what? If you know how to budget your money here, when you go there, you're just going to stretch your money that much further. So the same principles that would have helped you build wealth here may make you feel that much wealthier anywhere else you go. Guys, wherever you go, there you are. Don't think that you could just run away from your problems, but you can capitalize on a lower cost of living and stretch your money as well as you can. Like for me, right? I came from Los Angeles, California. Los Angeles is one of the most expensive cities in the world. So I got out of California at an early age. Why? Because I wanted to move to Texas and stretch a dollar. People was looking at me like I was crazy, y'all. Moving out of Los Angeles, California to then go to college in Waco, Texas. Where they do that at? Nope. Everybody was like, yo, you're a loser. What's your problem? There's no way you're going to be successful. But a lot of people did not see my vision. And so people may not see your vision if you plan on moving to another state or country in order for you to have a better quality of living. All you got to do is show and prove. It's not about you getting anyone's approval at the end of the day. DL says, how can a truck driver create streams of income? Just like anyone else. Just because you drive a truck doesn't mean you can't invest in real estate. It doesn't mean that you can't invest in the stock market and get yourself involved in different stocks that create dividends to produce passive streams of income. There's so many different ways for you guys to make money. And that's the reason why this podcast exists, because my job is just to show it to you. Jay Bones says, Babolico, I've seen brothers from Atlanta come into my country, Ghana. Oh, shout out to Jay Bones. Jay Bones is out in Ghana. And become millionaires in 3 years just investing in African real estate. A lot of African Americans are winning in Ghana. Hey, man, listen, I might say to hell with this YouTube thing. I might go off to Ghana, man. I'm going to treat this thing like coming to America, but going to Ghana. All of this spend money, hand over fist, trying to make it in America, a dollar and a dream. This stuff is for the birds, y'all. I cannot do it, man. It is crazy, crazy, crazy living out here. Jay Bone says Los Angeles is expensive as hell. That's a fact. Tech companies are starting to invade Detroit and the Michigan area. Prices been raising like crazy in the downtown area. You know what that means, J. Lou? Y'all got to have the skills to match where the economy is going. That's really all that means, because the same thing happened in Austin. See, here's the problem, guys. Some of y'all might have come from cities where people at one point in time could have lived well with a basic skill set. The problem is now everything is evolving through technology. And as these tech companies are going to new places, they're bringing the economy with it. Look at what has happened here in Texas. Man, Austin is the new California. I had to get out of Austin for this very reason. It started getting expensive as hell. And the only thing I still got going on there is the church and my investment in real estate. Now I'm focused on setting up in different suburbs outside of Austin. So guys, you got to know how this game is played. Whenever there's opportunities to live at a low cost, other people are going to start going into those areas and setting up a new economy. They're going to start bringing new companies, new real estate. That's even happening in Ghana. I've been to Ghana multiple times. And when I was there, I saw a lot of investors looking to buy properties at a rock bottom price so that way they could make more money. But that's going to stimulate the economic platform. That's going to make it more expensive there over time. So, guys, I'm just warning you now, no matter where you go, this is how the economy functions. It's just that in America, it's high as hell. Babaliko says, yeah, I left from New York to Oklahoma. Now I own 2 homes here. Guys, for all of y'all that are on, please make sure that y'all smash that like button. Okay. I see y'all commenting, and this is amazing. Make sure that y'all smash that like button so that way we could tell YouTube to send this video out to more people to join this conversation. And for those of y'all that want to see this show continue to stay on air, please make sure that you donate. Guys, your donations is what keeps the show going. I try to do this show 6 days a week, but I need y'all's help. All y'all got to do is tap that dollar icon directly below the live chat box, and whatever you give helps, guys. I really appreciate it. Okay, I'm about to get back to this article in just a minute, but let's keep these comments coming, okay? Shalom, good to see you, Eliana. Good to see you on, little sis. All praises. It says, yep, I left from New York to Oklahoma. Now I own 2 homes here. Shout out to you. I can't afford a home in New York, so I know what you're saying. Absolutely, man. Absolutely, absolutely. You guys got to focus on positioning yourself in locations where your dollar can go far. And part of the thing that I've noticed with a lot of millennials is we want to live good in all the best places. Like, wasn't nobody trying to come out to Waco, Texas with me when I was getting out of Los Angeles? Everybody was trying to stay in LA.
Nope.
But I had to go to Waco, Texas, so that way I could stretch my opportunities farther, right? What did Jay-Z say? Put me anywhere on God's green earth, I'll triple my worth. When I moved to Austin, that wasn't the end thing for everybody to do. But over time, everybody started to come out here. That's the reason why I moved out of the city. And I'm always looking for opportunities in secluded places that has great growth potential. That's what you guys want to do. That's how I operate in real estate. I look for real estate in growing locations where within the next 5 years, that's going to be looked at as a prime place. I did that when I invested in property in North Austin. I'm doing the same thing with my property that I have here. You got to keep looking for places that are on the rise, because honestly, there's so many places that are expensive. If you try to go in these big cities and live there, guys, you got to be making a lot of money. Okay. So it's just about repositioning yourself. It's not that you can't live well, but you have to understand your positioning. Okay. I talk more about that in my free book, also, the How to Succeed Survival Guide. A lot of you guys don't realize one of the reasons I was able to pay off my $95,000 in student loans 2 years after graduating from college is because I started getting out of these really expensive cities and locations, and I started to move to other places where I could put more money towards my debt. And that's the reason why now I can be in better locations, because I was willing to sacrifice in the short term. Now, let's go back to this article, okay? Y'all keep the comments going. Make sure that y'all smash that like button. Make sure that y'all donate. I'm going to go back to this article because I want y'all to check this out. It says, most millennials say their current financial situation is so dire that they'll never have the things they want in life. About half also say that my finances control my life and worry that whatever amount of money they can save won't last anyway, according to Morning Consult's latest State of Consumer Banking and Payments report. 72% of the millennial generation is at least somewhat concerned that their financial situation is going to prevent them from having what they want in life, versus 62% of all US adults. More millennials also told the survey that they're often or always behind on their finances, 38% versus 25% of US adults. Now we got to ask ourselves, what does it mean when people say that they're behind on their finances? That's talking about you not making a certain income like you thought you would at this point in life. That's talking about you being loaded in credit card debt, student loan debt, car notes, etc. All of these things are holding us back with money. It says more millennials also told the survey that they're often or always behind on their finances, 38% versus 25% of US adults. Additionally, 46% of this generation, generally people born between 1981 and 1996, say their finances control their lives, versus 33% of other adults. Millennials' beliefs about their own financial health rank worse than the national average, Morning Consult says, likely owing to the messy economics of the past 2 decades. The post 9/11 economy, then the global financial crisis, and now the pandemic recession, inflation, and record levels of student and consumer debt have made it hard to feel financially secure, and most millennials haven't even turned 40 yet. Now, I'm not going to read this whole article, but there is a certain part of this article that I want to discuss. It talks about how everybody is worried about their finances. They're feeling like they're never going to have enough money to live the life that they dream. But it says the most alarming stat might be one showing that a third of millennials reported overdrafting an account during the 2021 holidays, from Thanksgiving up to Christmas. This is the type of thing where if you're not trying to have financial discipline, you don't have nobody else to blame but you. I've been telling y'all about how all of these Americanized holidays are based around hyper consumerism. If y'all are going into overdraft, just getting behind this stuff, you are always going to be broke because every time you turn around, it's always something. One minute you're talking about Christmas, another minute you're going to be talking about the Super Bowl. Man, have y'all seen the prices to get to the Super Bowl this year? Like the damn nosebleeds is like $8,500. How is it that you have money for all of this stuff? Like, there comes a point in your life where you have to cut back and focus on your future. You cannot always ball out. You should not always follow the in crowd. You have to make wise financial decisions. And let me tell y'all something. For those of y'all that are serious about creating generational wealth, which is why you watch this podcast, I got a secret for you. Not everybody that looks like money has money. Not everybody that's flaunting something actually has it. There are a lot of people who pose like they have no money at all, but they're financially secure. But then there's people that act like they're filthy rich that don't have a damn thing. So you got to ask yourself what side of the equation you want to be on. But it's talking about how a third of millennials reported overdrafting an account during the 2021 holidays. Y'all, I have a question. Is it that deep? I know y'all gonna say, oh, Uzziah, see, there you go being Scrooge again. I know we just got to keep God's commandments. We're not supposed to spend no money on no holidays. But I have a real question. Do you have to treat every single thing like it's just the end of the world? If you always go through life living like that, you're never going to have money. And I don't care if you make $50,000, $100,000, no matter how much money you make, if you are constantly in spin mode, you're never going to have enough money to yourself. You got to be willing to make sacrifices, get in monk mode and say, listen, man, y'all go off and do what y'all doing. I'm going to focus on my future. Folks is going into overdraft complaining about how they ain't never going to have nothing. Well, if you ain't never going to have nothing, why the hell are you going into overdraft? Stop going into overdraft so eventually you can have something. We're so busy getting caught up in this rat race as consumers, you end up going overdraft all for something that you're not even going to use in the next 6 months. Like, we've got to unplug from this kind of toxic spending behavior in this society. Because like I said in yesterday's show, if America is over $30 trillion in debt, what do you think is going to be the buying behavior of the average person? If society as a whole is loaded in debt, that's only going to teach its citizens to stay loaded in debt also. We went over how this article said with the $30 trillion that America owes right now, that translates into the average person owing $90,000 plus in debt. The economists say if you pay back America's debt right now, every person would have to pay $1,000 a month for the next 19 years. We got to be focused, y'all. We got to get our finances in order. And trust me, it will not be the end of the world. Just because you don't have a Peloton in the house or the latest Jordans, trust me, it will be okay. It says, Gen Z adults were the next closest group, barely 20% of whom reported overdrafting an account during this period. Meanwhile, the number of Generation Xers who overdrafted an account was in the teens, while for boomers, it was in the single digits. I think this speaks in part to how quickly we will spend our money. For those specifically amongst the younger generations, we've yet to really learn the discipline that comes with financial literacy. Hence the reason why we're so quick to go into overdraft just for a temporary pleasure. Okay. Notice what it says here. It says millennials are also tied with high income adults for the group most likely to open a new account at a bank or credit union. But the survey notes high income adults work with more providers because they can. Millennials switch providers because they feel that they have to. Now, another thing that this article doesn't point out is that you got a lot of millennials who earn six figures and up. And even they are living paycheck to paycheck. Why? Because of being loaded in debt, because of massive consumerism, and not spending beneath their means. You guys got to stop trying to live beyond your means. Okay, now let me add some clarity to this, because I know some of y'all are out there saying, but Uzziah, you sound like one of them old folks that's like, oh, you millennials, y'all so lazy. None of y'all want to work. You just spend all of your damn money. Save your money, boys. Save it for a rainy day. I do understand. Even when you're not out here trying to spend money. Oh, if you live in America, you're going to spend some money. You're going to spend some money on rent. You're going to spend some money on transportation. You're going to spend some money on food. They are going to get you one way or another. This is the reason why I do these broadcasts, because that 7% inflation is real. Too real. It says, it seems millennials' fear could be crippling them up to a point. I'm not going to go and read through this whole thing. I want to look at y'all's comments. I want to see what y'all got to say. I'm going to open up this link to get y'all on a panel. I want to see what y'all's thoughts are about this topic. How many of you believe that you will never have enough money for the life that you want? How many of you guys are willing to do something about that? Let me give a shout out to my brother Babalico once again for the $5 super chat.
Another one.
Thank you so much for the support, my brother. Really appreciate it. For those of y'all that are on, we're talking about why millennials say they will never make enough money to live the life that they want. Very bold statement, but I don't want you to feel like this is the end of the world. On this broadcast, I'm going to show you guys very effective ways to improve your finances. Okay. Now, let me look at some of these other comments. Babalico says we need to try to save $1,000 a month for ourselves if we have a wife or a husband working together. I mean, what you're talking about right there, Babalico, is part of the reason why I always say that we need to have an emergency fund. Between 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. If we don't have any money saved at all, that's only going to make it that much easier to go into debt. Okay. So listen, y'all, I'm going to give y'all my take on everything that we looked at today. And then I'm going to open up the link to Cam Up. Okay. Please make sure that y'all have y'all's cameras ready. Make sure that y'all come ready to talk about this. I hope that I am on late enough for my brother Yasha Allah to get on this broadcast. Where is my long lost brother Yasha Allah, man? My brother Yasha Allah, for those of y'all that know him, I used to do these shows night after night, man. And that brother, he would be on dedicated, donating, talking. Man, I started doing these shows during the daytime and I lost my brother, man. I know I've been trying to try some new things on this broadcast, all because we're trying to make the experience better, guys. It's not for me. it's for you. Okay. So if you guys enjoy this broadcast, please make sure that y'all smash that like button. Okay. Let's get these likes up right now, guys, if you can. It only takes a second, but it goes a really long way towards helping to grow this channel. Okay. So now let me talk about this. So we went over two different articles, and these articles both talked about how millennials feel like they'll never have enough to get by. And before I really go into the meat of what I have to say, I want to first clarify who it's talking about when it's speaking about the millennial generation. Millennials age anywhere between 19 to 39 years old. Okay, I'm on the higher end of that. This is talking about all of us that were born between 1982 to the year 2002. And for us to feel like we'll never have enough money to enjoy life, that's a real problem. I think a part of that is because we're living in a different economy than that of our parents. We don't know how to dominate in this new economy. We have to be taught. And we're so busy loaded up with debt that we got from school and all of these other places. It seems like we're just taking all of our money and just putting it into a black hole. I want to know how many of you guys feel this way personally, okay? I want to be able to understand the audience. I want to be able to understand who I'm talking to on this platform. So I want y'all to leave me a comment, and I want y'all to let me know, is this how y'all feel about your finances? Do you feel like, you're very concerned that your money situation is going to prevent you from having the things that you want out of life? I don't know what y'all want specifically, but leave me a comment. Do you feel like your current financial situation is holding you back from the life that you want? Yes or no? And do you feel like you'll never be able to have the life that you want because of everything that has happened during this generation? I got to say something on this, guys. It's not just because millennials are lazy that they feel this way. I know some of y'all want me to pin that. But this economy has been kind of crazy. Let's keep it a buck. 7% inflation over the past 12 months. Housing market has been insane. Guys, I know that personally from me buying my last property. Y'all can't tell me this housing market ain't been ridiculous. This housing market is not built for the average person. It's not built for the faint of heart. You have to spend crazy money now just to buy a house. And don't forget, I've been warning y'all, a crash is on the way. One of the biggest reasons why so many millennials feel like this is because the biggest threat to our generation is student loans. The cost of education that we have taken on has been absolutely ridiculous. And it's going to continue to drain your bank account for the rest of your life unless you do something about it. Do y'all know how many people I went to college with who graduated and said, I'm going to hold on to these student loans for the rest of my life? Do you know like how depressing that is? Just to be able to have like this big old bill staring at you every single month, all over something that you thought was supposed to make you more money in the first place. Like, we all thought that the point of going to college is so that way we could be in a wealthier position than those who don't. But you got a lot of people that graduate from college now who go off and work at a job that doesn't require a college degree. You got a lot of people right now going back home to live with their mama. A lot of people that they want to get out of student loans, but I know that when I graduated from college, the cost of my student loans was higher than the cost of my rent. So unless you just got money, real money that you're making out here in the marketplace, it's hard to be able to afford the cost of living, even if you're trying to. Not every millennial is just trying to overlook their student loan situation, but the problem is there's so many people that are just not making enough money to cover all of their living expenses on top of all of these other debts. And this is the reason why student loans are the biggest threat. I will always tell you guys, the reason why I was in a position to build generational wealth at a young age is because I was blessed to have paid off my $95,000 in student loan debt by 23. And because I was debt free by 23 years old, it put my life on a trajectory for wealth creation and ownership. So now, all those thousands I was putting towards student loans, I was now able to invest in real estate. The same money that I was putting towards Sally Mae, I then started investing in a business. Wealth generation is about ownership. But if you don't get rid of what you owe, it will be very hard for you to be able to own anything. Get rid of what you owe so that way you can get to what you should own. The biggest threat is student loans because it's going to continue to drain your bank account. And guys, remember what I was going over in this article. Let me see who's still with me. Let me see y'all commenting. Okay. Shout out to DL. You said you got to get back at it. Have a good day. Hey, enjoy your weekend, King. Hopefully I see you on the next broadcast. One of the things that I want to tell y'all about, going back to the first article that I had pulled up, I'm going to share this with y'all now, just to give y'all a reminder. Make sure that y'all smash that like button. Today, we're talking about why millennials say that they will never have enough money to enjoy their life. I'm going to remind y'all of what this article said. Let me go ahead and skip straight to it, wherever it was. Let me just go ahead and put in this fine so I'm not even wasting y'all time. Look at what it says right here. It says, such challenges have made it more difficult for them to achieve the post-war version of the American dream, marked by a house in the suburbs, marriage, and children. Guys, this is the problem. It is 2022, and you're still living out a World War II fantasy. This post-war is talking about World War II. That we're all the way in a new millennium. Like, y'all used to seeing y'all's grandmothers and grandfathers living in this nice house, having this suburb type living, having pension money and 401k. Guys, we're in a new economy. And listen, anybody that tells y'all that the economy in 1960 is exactly where the economy is now in 2022 is full of crap. And I will say that to anybody who needs to hear it. I don't care what your mama say. I don't care what your grandmama say. We are living in a different economy. That should be known just by how many teenagers are now making millions of dollars. How many teenagers was making millions of dollars in the 1960s and the 1970s? That alone should show you that the game has changed. But there's so many people still trying to live out this fantasy of, I'm going to get an average job. I'm going to have a lovely house. I'm going to have a wife. I'm going to have kids. we're just going to live this American dream and we're never going to have a problem. Part of the reason why you feel this stressed is because you're still trying to live through that narrative. We're going to have to move different in a different economy. So, what do I mean when I say this, guys? How do we have to change our way of thinking? We have to first come to the realization that the more that you fantasize about a post-war generation, the more broke you're likely to be. The more you can get in tune with what's actually happening right now during these times, the better you can play the game. So if you're still relying on that same, have just one job, make an average living, that's how my grandmother and my mother did it, that's what I'm going to do mindset, you're going to end up going broke. But if you understand that we're living in a generation where you need multiple streams of income in order to be able to furnish a reasonable life, then that will give you a better advantage to maneuver around this. That will give you the mindset that's necessary to create generational wealth. I was breaking down all of this on yesterday's podcast, guys, showing you that a lot of people that came up in our grandparents' generation who was getting pensions, that didn't work for those businesses who gave it out. That's the reason why these companies don't give out pensions anymore. A lot of the companies who gave out pensions went broke because of it. The 401k, they've tried to come out and say, as long as you put money into this, you're going to be good for retirement. A lot of people don't understand. Even if you have $1 million in your 401k by your retirement age, you will only be able to pull out approximately $33,000 per year to live off of that amount in order for that money to last you for the rest of your life. If the average life expectancy is until 85, 90 years old, $100,000 from 60 all the way through 90 is $30,000 per year spaced out. How many of us want to live off of $30,000 a year 30 years from now? You can't even live off of $30,000 today. So we got to realize we are not in our parents' generation. A lot of our parents and grandparents had nowhere close to $1 million in a retirement account. But just because they're able to retire with Social Security, it doesn't mean that we'll be able to do that too. We're going to have to find new solutions for this new economy. And that's the reason why I do this show night after night. If it was so easy for people to get paid, there would be no reason for guys like me to have a platform. Nobody would be trying to search me out, asking how to make more money if getting the bag was that easy. Okay? So, guys, let's understand we're in new times. And I got to tell y'all something. If you're going to make money in this generation, you got to have specialized skills in a booming industry. It cannot just be, okay, you know how to do what's been handed down from one generation to another generation, and you're just picking up the family craft. It has to be something that's thriving in the marketplace, okay? The average person may not be able to make it only off of one job. You know the reason why? The average home in America today is $375,000. The average home in America today is $375,000. So, are you going to be able to afford the average home if you're living off of minimum wage? Nope. Are you going to be able to afford the average home just working at a decent job? No, I'm sorry. You're going to have to learn how to make money. The average monthly rent for a one-bedroom apartment in 2020 was almost $1,100 per month. That was 2020, guys. It's 2022. Everything is getting more expensive. If it was at $1,100 in 2020, we just went through the last 12 months where inflation went up by 7%. So now we have to focus on making more money, because whatever we were making is not going to give the same cost of living for years to come. The dollar is getting weaker. It's not getting stronger. So we need more of it just to sustain the same cost of living that we had from before. I didn't make this up, guys. I'm just telling y'all how life works. This is how I'm able to sustain myself and my family, is just by understanding the rules and knowing how to play the game. And even then, nothing is guaranteed. So I got a question for y'all. Knowing all of this, what is your outlook on money? Are you going through, this society optimistically? Or are you going through this with doom and gloom, thinking that the sky is falling? Oh my God, everybody is going broke. All the millennials say that they can't afford what they want out of life. If you go through life having a scarcity mindset, it's going to be very hard for you to survive this marketplace. But if you go through life with an abundance mindset, you see endless opportunities to make more money so that you can live the lifestyle that you want. It all begins in the mind. That's the reason why Napoleon Hill wrote a book called Think and Grow Rich. Not work and grow rich. Think and grow rich, because your thoughts will determine your outcomes in life. If you go through life thinking, oh man, you know what? I can't part ways with $2, because if I part ways with $2, then I'll go broke. You're going to always hold on to a poor mentality, which will then put you in the poor house. But if you go through life with the mentality that you can create income based upon the skills that are already within you, based upon your natural strengths, if you can view your skill set as an ATM, then you will know that money is not scarce, because trillions of dollars are being exchanged every single day. So, guys, let's talk about this. What are the ways that millennials can build financial freedom? If you're one of the people that feels like you'll never have enough money, I want you guys to watch this part of this broadcast specifically, because I'm about to walk you through the step-by-step process on how to create financial freedom. Are y'all ready? Number one, do an assessment on your current skill set. Do an assessment by taking inventory of the skills that you bring to the marketplace. So the skills that you have right now, are those skills in high demand? Of the skills that you have, what level are these skills at in the marketplace? So, for example, how much would most jobs pay you right now for the skills that you have? Would they pay you at a 5-figure level? Would they pay you at a 6-figure level? How much would they pay? Now, if they're not paying high enough at a 6-figure level or beyond, what you need to start doing is building your skill set and grow those skills through experience. That is the only way you can create financial freedom. Guys, follow me here. Do an assessment. This costs absolutely no money. I'm showing you guys right now how to not be among the 46% of millennials in America today who feels like they're never going to have enough money to live the life that they want. If you want to live the life that you want, start by looking in the mirror. Ask yourself, what skills do I have? Ain't that the question that everybody has right now, even though they be talking about for dating? What do you bring to the table? In the marketplace, what skills are you bringing to the table? Are you bringing 5-figure skills to the table? Are you bringing 6-figure skills to the table? And are the companies that are in the marketplace willing to pay you accordingly? If you're not getting paid beyond a 5-figure level, now is the time for you to get more invested in your skill set. And you know the reason why I say this, guys? Because everybody that's at that 6-figure level and beyond, they're constantly investing and growing in their skills already, which is how they got there. They already have that cemented as a habit. But when you're still trying to build up your income, your skills are what pays the bills. So, one of the ways in which you can do this is through reading books. You can also attend different training programs and conferences. Some of you guys can start going after professional certifications that will make you more money. You got to figure out, how do you get from 5 figures to 6? Before you guys start thinking about 7 and trying to make all this other kinds of money, right now, simply focus on going from 5,000 to 5 figures to 6. This is going to be one of the most important changes that you can make in your life. And here's the reason why. Once you've evolved your skill set to that 6-figure level, then that's when you need to focus on taking your skills and turning it into a product. I know a lot of y'all are thinking, man, Uzziah, why do I need to make 6 figures a year? I don't even want to work at a 9-to-5 job. See, that's the problem. You already want to get to the finish line, even though you never started running the race. Not everybody's going to be the Mark Zuckerberg who, you was 17 years old in college and out of a dorm room, you made $1 billion company. The average CEO will have spent a considerable amount of time working at a job, building up different skills, and then taking that skill set and then turning it into a product in the marketplace. But the problem is, if your skills are not lucrative enough, you making a business out of it is not going to change nothing. Because if wasn't nobody willing to pay you for that at a job, what makes you think that people are going to be willing to pay for it with you starting your own company? At least when you're back behind the 9-to-5 machine, you got large corporations putting millions of dollars in advertising behind whatever your skill is. But now when you go out and you try to do this thing on your own, you don't have $1 million to market yourself. So what's going to be the things that sells your products? Your skills, your high in demand, rare skills. By you stepping outside of just being a commodity, you're taking on very precious resources that only a few people know how to do. You take those rare specialized skills and you turn it into a product. Uzziah, why do I need to turn it into a product if I'm already making 6 figures a year? Where you told me that you want to start making enough money to where you can live the life that you want and it not be a problem. If you want to make that kind of money, you need to start creating an income stream that separates you trading time for money. because there's only so much money you can make under that model. See, this is the reason why I tell you guys, check out my free webinar on the 3 keys to financial freedom. I go over this in a lot more detail. If you guys are working at a 9-to-5 job, your income is always built around your time. If you're working at an hourly rate, then you're only going to make as much as the hours you can put in. If you're working at a salary, you're only going to make as much as what has been promised to you within the year. So anytime that you go outside of those limits, you're not making any more money. You're not going to go into your boss's office and ask for a 500% raise to boost your salary. They're not going to do it. Going to laugh you out of the room. Even if you work 24 hours straight, how long are you going to keep that up? You're not going to be able to keep it up long enough to get all the way to $1 million. And the thing about it is, guys, you're going to need a lot of money in order to provide for your family long term. Even $1 million is not what it used to be. So if you're trying to create financial freedom, you're going to need to build a product that can be sold with or without you there. Look at the richest people in the world. What are they doing? Building products that allows them to make money when they're there or not there. Look at Sam Walton, the owner of Walmart. Built a large company, still $1 billion company. He is nowhere around, no longer living. Look at Jeff Bezos, started Amazon. Amazon doesn't need Jeff Bezos there in order for it to run. He's built the machine and it runs on its own. Look at McDonald's. Look at FedEx. Look at all of these major companies in America. Study how they're making their money, because those are the kinds of people who don't have to worry about putting food on the table. Those are the kinds of people that don't have to worry about money again. And I'm not telling you that you're going to be the next Jeff Bezos. I'm telling you, if you follow some of the strategy of what Jeff Bezos did, you will have a better likelihood of building your own wealth than following the formula that the masses were taught in middle school. Look at how it's worked out for Bezos and look at how it's worked out for the majority of us. You tell me whose formula you want to follow. This is the process of creating generational wealth. Now, guys, even once you get yourself to a point of making good money, you still have to set a budget. Unless you're on a level where you just make stupid, dumb money, and you know that you're not spending beyond your means, you need a budget, okay? Whether you're making 5 figures, 6 figures, I even recommend this for people making 7 figures. Budget your money and make sure that whatever budget that you have, you always set yourself up for an income minus expenses where you have at least $1,000 in disposable income left over at the end of every month. I know for a lot of y'all that might sound like a pipe dream because you're like, damn, Uzziah, get back into the real world. Most of us don't even make enough to cover our basic expenses. Well, most people are not doing an assessment of their skills. Most people are not building themselves up to the 6-figure training level, then turning back around and then productizing the specialized skill that they have. This is something different. You're going to have to move different now. And so if you guys want to do this, it's possible. You already have the IQ. If you can watch this broadcast and you can comprehend this information, you already have what it takes intellectually. Do you have the heart to do it? Do you have the patience? Are you willing to suffer? That's another story. The dream is free. Hustle is sold separately. And once you put that budget in place, once you're making that money, make sure that you set goals of saving and investing from month to month and give it time, okay? Wealth is not created overnight. It is built over time. The average millionaire in America doesn't get there until they're almost 60 years old. So if we can stop getting out of this media craze that everybody's got to be rich right now, we could be on a better path to building wealth. Focus on your process, run your own race, and over time, if you made the right decisions, good fortune can work in your favor. All right, y'all. There we go. Now it's time to see what y'all think. Okay, I'm going to open up this panel. Let me see if y'all got something to say about this broadcast. Okay, millennials say that they'll never have enough. I want to see what y'all think. Now is the time for you to join the panel. Okay, so all you need to do is click this link. I've put it in the comments below. I want to get your feedback. I want to get your thoughts. Let me know what y'all think on this topic. Okay. For those of y'all that are still rocking with me, we're talking about why millennials say that they'll never have enough money to enjoy their life. I think that's a cop out. I think that if you follow the steps that I just went through on this broadcast, all for free, I think that if you stick with those principles long enough, you can work yourself into financial freedom. All you need to do is stay focused, okay? So make sure that y'all smash that like button. Make sure that y'all donate to this broadcast. Even if you're watching this broadcast after the live stream is over, you can still donate. All you got to do is click the links in the description below. Okay. And for those of you guys that have donated through Cash App or PayPal during this broadcast, please leave me a comment so that way I could check it and I could show you guys some love. All right. Thank you so much for all of the support. Now, as I wait to see if anybody's going to get on camera, I'm going to always let you guys know how we can work together over the next 12 months. You know, there's a lot of you guys out there that get a lot of value from these free broadcasts, but you want to know, Uzziah, how do I take advantage of your coaching? If you guys are looking to work with me over the next 12 months, I have a elite training program called your breakthrough year. Now, I want you to think about what we just talked about on this broadcast. I talked about you going from 5-figure skills to 6-figure skills. And in order to do that, you're going to have to invest in yourself. So if you guys are looking to invest in yourself by learning new training methods to improve your time, your money, and your energy, then this is the program for you, because in your breakthrough year, this is a 12-month coaching experience where I'll walk you through the top performance secrets of world-class performers. If you want to know how people on an elite level get a lot of things done, I outline all of the steps in this program. Guys, there's only so much that I can jam pack in these shows. And this is the reason why I create these different programs for you guys, to give you a step-by-step walkthrough on how to reach your goals and become the best version of yourself. I've got folks that have went through this program that have paid off over 6 figures worth of debt. I've gotten folks who have gone through this program who have gotten 5-figure raises. I'm trying to show you guys how to get to the next level, but you gotta want it for yourself, okay? If you guys are looking to make 2022 the most productive year of your life, I'm going to give you a free trial just so you can get started, okay? I'm putting the links in the comments below so that way you can join. Now, I see my brother Babalico is trying to get in on this panel. Shout out to you, Babo. It's showing me that the devices are not connected. If you got any like webcam, or if you got something where, you know, you can get on the mic and start to give your thoughts, please feel free to do so. I'm also going to put the link out there again for y'all to cam up. But for those of y'all that are trying to work with me over the next 12 months, make sure that you get your free trial into your breakthrough year. Okay. The link is on the screen right now. It's also in the comments below. Make sure that y'all check that out if you're looking to change the game. Okay. Listen, guys. I'm waiting for Bobo to get on, man. Bobo, if you can hear this, maybe try refreshing your screen. Try doing something so that way you can add in your camera or your audio. I'm trying to figure out why it's not why you're not able to connect into the panel. For those of y'all that are trying to get on this panel, here's the link. Here's the link. Okay. Thank you for all of you guys that have been supporting this broadcast. I know that there's been a lot of changes. I recently changed the name of the broadcast to the Generational Wealth Podcast. It used to be the Uzziah Show, but I wanted to make it a lot more specific to building wealth. Okay, guys? So listen, man, I love y'all. I thank y'all so much for tuning in as always. Definitely want to give a big shout out to Bobo Lico for the $5 super chat once again. Thank you for being the official sponsor of this broadcast. Really appreciate
Another
you,
one.
man. For anybody else that wants to donate, feel free to do so. But listen, guys, I'm about to get out of here, man. I hope you guys have a phenomenal weekend. I hope you guys got a lot of value out of this podcast. And maybe I might be on again this Sunday. Who knows? We'll see. Guys, stay focused, okay? I'm praying for all of y'all. Continue to level up. And until next time, keep